sit down, and we are going to watch and listen to some role plays. Do I have a brave volunteer? If you feel like you did not get a chance to fully finish your role play, that's okay. Just talk us through what your process was, and then maybe as a group we can help out. Anybody who want to go first? Okay. Yay!
So we have 2 seats. The first
So nice and loud. Oh yeah, we have a stage here.
I'm the observer for now.
Oh, we
I'm the CFA coach.
Oh, I mean
No, Camille.
Huh?
I'm Camille in this scene.
Oh, okay. Me?
Yeah, I'm you.
Oh.
I'm observing my teacher and coaching.
Oh goodness.
I'm the teacher.
This is a class.
All right, can someone please tell me what did we learn yesterday?
Oh, I know. Call me. Let me answer. Call me.
Okay.
Oh, come on, you always calling her.
Kaya, what did we learn yesterday?
Predictions.
Very good, Kaya. JB, we're gonna have to put you in timeout because clearly you just argued.
But you always call. You never call me.
Because you're always loud, JB. I just can't deal with this anymore. You need to go timeout.
See. Alright, now she's meeting with me.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Here.
Let me see what I'm gonna say.
Hi, Miss K. How are you doing today?
Oh my gosh, Miss Gray, you don't want to know what day I've had today.
Okay, go ahead and take a seat in the
I'm
top.
just-
I really enjoyed observing your class. There's a lot of great things going on.
Really? Are you sure about
So,
that?
how did you feel about that little outburst over there?
He just drives me stir crazy, Miss Gray. I'm fed up with him. I'm pretty sure he's got like some disorder, like emotional disturbance or something, because he's just, I can't handle it. And I don't even feel safe around this kid because he's banging things around and being all loud and just annoying. I just can't deal with this anymore.
Okay, well, as teachers, we don't want to assume that he has any sort of disorder. What was it he was doing that made you feel, what was the aggression that he did?
He banged the desk.
Okay.
Like he was all like, mad that I didn't pick him, but he's supposed to raise his hand quietly.
Okay, so what was it that made you feel unsafe in that situation? You said that you didn't even feel safe around the kid.
Cause like he was just like yelling at me, and I was just like, oh shoot, what if this kid jumps me or something?
Okay, but in that situation, was there any direct contact that made you feel unsafe, or it was just the potential? Okay, so let's see. I want to ask you a little bit about, I was looking over your management plan. It looks pretty good. What are your consequences?
We're supposed to do a card thing. I bet I didn't have him pull yellow.
How does he react when you do pull that yellow card?
Well, he gets upset, but I shouldn't. Usually we're supposed to get an orange card that's sent into the timeout, but I didn't have him pull a yellow card.
Okay, so it might be a little inconsistent there.
You got one.
Yeah. And then I noticed that other student talked out of turn and you didn't really direct us on. So that's something to keep mindful of, consistency. And then about positive reinforcement, what do you have set up? I didn't see in your plan. What do you have set up for the positive reinforcement of the students?
Supposed to like narrate them how and I see you lining up great and stuff. That's
Okay.
too much work.
So
You
you
know
know
it gets
what?
on my nerves sometimes because I feel like I'm telling her, oh, you look so good walking. No, he's supposed to be looking good walking. Why do I have to tell him that?
Okay, so yeah, it's really awkward when we're actually going to have a session to practice that, but I think with a student like this, that might be really valuable. So in your next class, you might want to pick out grasp at anything to positively reinforce, and then we're going to meet again, you and I, at the end of the day, to see if that made any difference, okay?
All right, Miss Gray. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Miss Gray, that's me. I love you. Okay. That's why I just love like giving y'all a few tools and just letting you go. I get so many tools for my own kid. That's what y'all. Okay. All right. Who's the Thank you very much. Who's the next one? It's okay. And scene. I think this scene is going on. Nice and loud.
Why does my computer always act so ghetto?
What did you mean by ghetto?
Miss Berry, I mean that it's broken, it doesn't work, it's stupid, I can't get it to turn on, like I can't even do anything with it, it's dumb.
So I hear what you're saying, but instead of saying that your computer was broken or wasn't working or it wasn't turning on, you chose to use ghetto. And I don't really know, I personally feel, I don't really like that you use that word in that context. It kind of has a negative context.
So are you calling me a racist?
No, I'm not calling you a racist. I just think that your actions are giving a negative connotation to the word ghetto. Because when you say my computer is acting ghetto, what I hear is that ghetto means whack, broken, not working, just all negative connotation. And I just want to clarify what you meant when you said ghetto.
So you're saying I should use another word other than ghetto to describe my computer?
I feel that that would probably be best because it would actually be more accurate to what your computer is doing instead of just choosing, you know, like an analogy of what you think your computer is being. By saying ghetto, that's just putting a distinct negative connotation on something that's bigger than broken or not working. I don't really see the correlation between those two.
Thank you, Miss Berry. I now realize what I said was racist.
Thank you. I definitely don't have the heart that Miss Berry has, because that was like a real courageous conversation. You just went directly for like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Like, I'm just going to address what you said head on. And I like, I shouldn't be adding judgment, but I like how you reacted in a way that is probably really real. So like, what are you saying? Are you saying that I'm racist? No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is, and so I like the way you framed it as what I heard and what I took away from that, using I statements to speak your truth. That is exactly what you did. So thank you for that. And there's no one way to do this, right? Like that same approach could have been used here, or vice versa. The inquiry-based asking questions to engage in self-reflection could have been used in this one. So all of these strategies can be used in any situation. Cool, thank you. How about your group?
So let's just pretend like school just started for the year, we got a new class in, or whatever, right? I'm having some issues behaviorally with my class.
And my classroom is like perfect. But I'm gonna like pretend that it's not to like,
Yeah. So, Mr. Fuentes, I just
Speak
have.
up, please.
Mr. Fuentes, there's just some bad kids this year. These kids are just, they're loud, they're aggressive, and like to the point where they can't even sit still, and I don't know how I'm supposed to teach them anything.
Mr. Bayer, first of all, thank you so much for coming to me and confiding in me with what you feel. However, I think that it's important for us to think about how we can reframe the way we think about our students. And although I see the loud and aggressive part, I see where you're coming from, because I'm dealing with the same issue. Side note, I'm not. I'm dealing with the loudness in my classroom as well. But I'm not projecting it as the characteristics of my students. It's just the actions they're carrying out. So we need to think about like their current actions and how we can adjust our management plan so that we can get the best of our students, and so that we can effectively teach. So because I'm also having this issue of these kinds of actions, let's just sit down and have a conversation and brainstorm what we can do to better our management.
Yeah, thanks. I shouldn't have said they're bad kids. There's no bad kids. All kids are good. It's just.
Thank you for correcting yourself.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming to me.
I love that how you like immediately reflect it and then like self-correct it, because it came up in the other session, like, is it my job, is it my responsibility to be educating all my colleagues? And I'm not gonna say that it is your job or my job to do that, but I do think we have a responsibility when we are educators to not just look at that in terms of like educating children, but to be educating and advocating for everyone in our community. But hopefully to the point where we are enlightening, so that folks can be more reflective and self-correct and get to that interpersonal awareness, and there's diversity competency. So thank you so much for that. Okay. Last but not least.
This one is also with computer. And we are actually going to be 2 colleagues in like what would be the teacher's lounge in our school.
Sure. I also want to say I just really appreciate all the reference to the management plan. Thank you.
God, my computer is so retarded. Why does it move so slowly?
I'm sorry to hear about your computer, but what you just said right there, you equated retarded with slow. And I'm sure you're aware of the connotations that retarded has picked up over the years. I mean, this isn't just a scientific term that we're looking at anymore used to describe people who are mentally challenged. I mean, this is something used that's actually used in a derogatory
Hold on,
sort of way.
I know people who are mentally challenged. I teach people who are mentally challenged. I wasn't doing that to say that about one particular person. Retarded does mean slow.
And I hear you when you say that, but when you're comparing retarded, mentally challenged people to your broken computer, you're dehumanizing those people. You're comparing them to inanimate objects, and you're using that to describe a broken computer. You're putting them on a lower level than yourself, implying that they are broken as human beings.
You're a first-year teacher with Teach for America. I've been here for 10 years. This is not really helpful for you to be preaching to me about this, because I know how to teach students who have mental disabilities.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This is true. When I was 4 years old, my neighbor, John, was mentally challenged. He had severe Down syndrome. He was about 14, and he was probably less mentally engaged than I was at that age. But we would sit together, we would watch movies together, we had emotions and needs, and it hurts me when you compare him to a broken computer. So I wish you wouldn't use that sort of language to describe something that's similar.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and I apologize for using that language.
Can I make a comment about that?
Yeah, so with that, the remainder of the time can just be an open space for us to.
Like there's a PR group.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, do you want to table that and let them go and then come back, or would it be more natural and organic for you to say it now?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment about the Teach for America thing. Thank you for that, because like that was one of the things that I thought, oh, what if like one of our colleagues is experienced and they say something, and then how do you approach it? So thank you.
And I really appreciate you saying that too, because that was part 2 that I'm going to figure out a different time to get to. And so it just really addressed it, you know, that we are going to be going into regions where people have those perceptions. So I appreciate that. And the personal story is so powerful. So thank you for sharing that. Okay. Yep.
Sorry, I just also wanted to empower all of you with the fact that like retarded is not actually a term that we use anymore.
I think that you all addressed that.
And I know that, yeah, so like, but it's not even like a medical term anymore. So like that's something you can say, like it's not even anything, and like talking about severe or not severe, like that's not actually really the way that it's talked about anymore either. So just go do some research on that and like the terms that we actually use to talk about disability.
Yeah.
I worked with the RSP teacher this year, and the term mental retarded was still used, like MR.
It is?
Yeah, like
for what, like MR on like an actual document?
Yeah, on an actual
that
document.
That should not be.
Yeah.
That is not legal.
That probably hasn't been updated, but like as far as updating that, like that's what it's moving to. That's what like disability activism is moving towards.
And there has, I mean, we can definitely talk about
all
of these things, but there's like a whole like history behind that. There's history behind the word ghetto. So all of these things. Remember that impact model where it's like our personal experiences and then the socio-historical context that we exist in. All of these things have like social and historical connotations and context. So, and last but not least, I saw that.
This one has some context as well.
Oh, sure.
So I'll be like, I'm a teacher, I just came out of class, and I'm venting to my compatriots over here. Okay. God, I could just care less about teaching math right now. Like, the bigger issue in my class is that there's constant inappropriate comments about gay people. Like, that shit is gay. They just say it all the time.
That must be so hard for you. Like, I can totally see where you're coming from. Like, there's not enough hours in the day to try to, like, teach math and try to teach them about, like, the language that they're using. I totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah, and CSD's coming up, but like, they're not learning at all.
So frustrating.
I don't know if they know what they're saying, so maybe we can all work together. And because I know you're teaching math, so you feel like maybe you don't have enough time to talk about what that means. But we can introduce like what does that word mean? Like in English and history, we can talk about like, you know, just like what that means in society. Maybe like if we do that, they'll understand like what they're saying, and we can replace that word with something else.
That'd be great. Yeah, that would really help the athletes. I think they just don't understand what it is that they're saying. Important.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. I love how I love how it was like a really collaborative effort because you all share the same students, and so even if they might not be expressing that necessarily in the other classrooms, the fact that it is in their lexicon and they're using it in that context, that everybody on the team wanted to address it. And maybe it's even more powerful to address it outside of the context because they might be more open and receptive to learning. And I really love how you talked about expanding vocabulary, like giving them more fitting words, just like with ghetto, like really just using more accurate language to describe our feelings or the situation. So thank you. And with that, I mean, we can just like, if anybody has thoughts or things that came up for them in the small group table talk or reactions or questions or challenges or anything.
What came up with the arts is like someone making a comment like this, like obviously things aren't happening in their, like kids aren't achieving in their classroom, but sometimes people say this and are like, I really just want someone to hear that I'm frustrated and I don't need to hear how like beautifully run your classroom is going and like how no one in your classroom uses that language. And so like talking about what